Hello and welcome to Standard Voice Television Global News. Today is 6th July 2026, equivalent to Islamic calendar 21st Muharram 1448 after the Hijrah of the Noble Prophet. In the headlines, Federal government dismisses IMF's report of spending 8 trillion naira outside 2026 budget. Political parties rush to meet INEC's uploading deadline ahead of 2027 elections. Army chief attributes Nigeria's security challenges to Lake Chad and Sahel instability. Security tightened around Niger Republic's presidential palace amid reports of military protests. And on sport updates, Norway beats Brazil 2-1 to advance to 2026 World Cup quarterfinals. These and more will be coming to you in the news bulletin. I am Sumaya Mustafa. Stand by. The presidency has refuted claims of spending 8 trillion naira outside the 2026 budget, describing the report as a misrepresentation of the International Monetary Fund's IMF 2026 Article IV consultation report. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Taiwo Oyedele, disclosed this in a statement in Abuja. He said the allegations, which referenced comments attributed to the IMF representative and the fund's report, wrongly suggested that about 2% of Nigeria's gross domestic product, GDP, was expended outside the approved budget. The denial is coming after IMF disclosed that Nigeria left public spending equivalent to about 2% of GDP unreported in recent official budgets, obscuring the country's true financing needs and making the fiscal deficit appear smaller than it actually was. The Interim National Working Committee (NWC) of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) has demanded a forensic probe into the involving the Presidency and the Director General of the Presidency Economic Advisory Council, Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council, Adeniyi Adeyemi. The opposition party, which recommended that the investigation be conducted by a reputable international firm, also asked President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to suspend key officials linked to the development and reorganize the State House in order to save the country's image from the embarrassing situation. The PDP also noted that the explanation offered by the presidency so far portrayed a failure of the All Progressives Congress APC-led administration and amounted to an admission that Nigeria had been defrauded and was in the hands of corrupt officials. Adeyemi is embroiled in a controversy with the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, in which the DG alleged that Gbajabiamila demanded a 400 million naira bribe from him. Moving on, the All Progressives Congress has criticized over its decision to alter the list of candidates who emerged from its National Assembly primaries. The move has also triggered fresh concerns about internal democracy and the credibility of the APC's candidate selection process ahead of the 2027 general elections. While the People's Democratic Party (PDP) mocks the APC for substituting the names of some primary winners with others, the Social Democratic Party's SDP described the move as reckless, while the Labour Party condemned it as undemocratic. In the same vein, the United States says it will closely monitor Nigeria's 2027 general election and how the electoral process is conducted. The U.S. Congressman Riley Moore disclosed this during an interview in Noir TV, adding that the U.S. would be watching the outcome of the elections and the manner in which they are conducted. Political parties are having mixed fortunes in the ongoing upload of candidates on the portal of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC). With INEC insisting on July 11 as deadline for the exercise, many parties are having challenges and may not meet the deadline. Although the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC), People's Democratic Party (PDP), and African Democratic Congress (ADC), among others, said they were able to upload their candidates on INEC portal, some others expressed dismay over the adoption of the method by the electoral umpire. It was also gathered that several parties are yet to conclude selection of running mates for their governorship candidates, and some are still resolving nagging issues arising from the primaries. However, the national chairman of Because of Our Tomorrow, Boot Party, Sonny Adenuga said it had been difficult to use the INEC portal to upload its candidates for the 2027 general elections after receiving the code last week. Nigeria has threatened tougher measures if attacks on its citizens in South Africa continues. This is as the federal government condemned the killing of 2 Nigerians in South Africa and demanded investigations, warning that the continued targeting of foreigners, particularly Nigerians, raises serious concerns about their safety and the resurgence of xenophobic violence in the country. The victims, Emeka Charles Irogbu and Musa Yunana Joel, were both killed on June 28, 2026. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Nigerian Consulate General of Johannesburg, and the Nigerian Union South Africa, in separate statements, called for prompt, transparent, and probe to ensure that those responsible were apprehended and prosecuted without delay. The statement described the incident as part of a disturbing pattern of violence against Nigerians in South Africa. The news is coming to you on Standard Voice Television. Still to come in the news. Army Chief attributes Nigeria's security challenges to Lake Chad and Sahel instability. On the international scene, security tightening around Niger Republic's presidential palace amid reports of military protests. And on sport updates, Norway beats Brazil 2-1 to advance to 2026 World Cup quarterfinals. These and more will be coming to you after this break. Stay tuned.
Imagine say television, movies, news and entertainment dey your pocket just like that. Welcome to Free TV app. Now the #1 digital TV app for Nigeria. Free TV app get over 100 live TV channels, breaking news, sports, Nollywood movies, small pikin shows and plenty more inside one app. No decoder wahala, no plenty setup. Just download, open, begin the watch. To get the app, just search Free TV for Google Play Store or Free TV NG for Apple App Store, or scan the QR code for your screen. Registration will take you seconds. You fit use phone number, email, WhatsApp, Google or Apple ID. OTP even dey, so make your account dey safe. For inside the app, the live TV section get over 100 licensed channels with program guide, pause, rewind and catch up. Free TV no be ordinary app. Na digital revolution. Download Free TV today.
You are welcome back from that break, and now the news continues. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi Shoaibu, has attributed Nigeria's insecurity to the lingering instability in Lake Chad Basin, the Sahel region, and the Gulf of Guinea. He stated this while delivering a lecture at the Nigerian Army Day celebration, NADCEL 2026 in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, warning that crisis in neighboring regions continue to worsen the country's internal security situation. According to the Army Chief, Nigeria's security environment has become increasingly complex, with the country grappling with insurgency, terrorism, banditry, cybercrime, transnational organized crime, and resource-related conflicts. He pointed out that the proliferation of small arms, porous borders, and the exploitation of ethnic and religious divisions have further complicated efforts to address insecurity, noting that citizens' support is indispensable to achieving national security objectives. Still in the news, the Zamfara state government has ruled out negotiations with bandits, but will sustain military operations until they surrender or face the full weight of the law. Governor Dauda Lawal made the declaration through his Chief of Staff, Mukhtar Musa, at the inauguration of the Association of Zamfara State Indigenes residing in Kaduna Secretariat. The event also featured the distribution of food items to less privileged members of the association in Kaduna. The Chief of Staff said the Lawal administration remained committed to ending insecurity through sustained collaboration with security agencies across the state. He stressed that the government would continue providing logistics, equipment, ammunition, and other operational support to security forces fighting criminal elements. Musa assured that the government will continue the offensive against bandits until lasting peace was restored across Zamfara, urging citizens to report suspicious movements and activities to security agencies. Moving on, the Senate says the passage of the State Police Bill 2026 has endorsed 84 lawmakers during its clause-by-clause consideration, describing the outcome as evidence of broad bipartisan backing of the constitutional amendment. Senate Leader Opeyemi Bamidele in a statement said the proposal was the product of years of consultations, public hearings and stakeholder engagement across the country. He also refuted claims that the proposal was driven by partisan interests, insisting that it emerged from extensive consultations with the executive, the Nigeria Governors Forum, the Conference of Speakers of State Legislatures, and the leadership of the Nigeria Police. The senator pointed out that the public hearings conducted across the 6 geopolitical zones in July 2025 produced overwhelming support for state police. Moving on, security has been reinforced around Niger Republic's presidential palace in Niamey following reports of unrest involving some of the country's armed forces. According to security sources, the increased deployment of the Presidential Guard, supported by armored vehicles around the presidency, reportedly followed a limited protest by personnel of an armored unit within the Niger Armed Forces, FAN. The sources said some soldiers allegedly refused deployment to frontline positions in the northern Tillaberi region, particularly around Inates and Chinagodra, citing inadequate heavy equipment and insufficient operational resources to confront growing security threats. In the same vein, some South Sudanese civil society organizations, CSOs, have canvassed for an immediate cessation of hostilities following the killing of Akobo County Commissioner James Kuwait Makuwach in renewed fighting between government forces and the Sudan People's Liberation Army in opposition in Akobo County of South Sudan's Jonglei State. And lastly, on sport update, Norway beat Brazil 2-1 on Sunday to reach the World Cup quarterfinals. Manchester City striker Erling Haaland headed Norway into the lead on 79 minutes and then crashed in a second in the 90th minute to dash Brazil's hopes of a 6th World Cup crown. Norway goalkeeper Erling Nyland saved a first-half penalty from Bruno Guimaraes before Haaland struck twice in the last 11 minutes to stun Brazil at MetLife Stadium. Neymar put a goal back deep into stoppage time with Brazil's second spot kick of the match. Haaland's brace took him level with Lionel Messi on 7 goals for the tournament as Norway booked a showdown against either co-hosts Mexico or England in Miami in July 11. Finally on the news, here's a recap of the top stories again. Federal government dismisses IMF's report of spending 8 trillion naira outside 2026 budget. Political parties rush to meet INEC's uploading deadline ahead of 2027 elections. Army chief attributes Nigeria's security challenges to Lake Chad and Sahel instability. Security tightened around Niger Republic's presidential palace amid reports of military protests. And on sport updates, Norway beat Brazil 2-1 to advance to 2026 World Cup quarterfinals. And that's the size of the global news. On behalf of the news editor Ilya Adamu Auta and the production crew, I am Sumaya Mustafa, thanking you and bye for now.